Tens of thousands of fans flocked to the U.S. Tennis Association National Tennis Center on Monday as the fourth and final major tournament of the year got underway. The headline of the day, Venus Williams beat 12th seed Kristen Flipkens 6-1, 6-2. Venus looked very much like the player she used to be, making serves up to 120 miles per hour, returning superbly, and covering the court well enough to hit a handful of swinging volley winners. Here to talk to us now about the state of tennis in 2013 is Arise News sports contributor Andrew Rosario, and joining us by telephone is former top 25 United States tennis pro Taylor Dent, who is also now an announcer for the United States Tennis Association and the CBS Sports Network. Thank you both for joining us.
Hey.
Taylor, I'm going to go right to you on the phone. What is the state of international tennis in 2013?
In my opinion, tennis is at its highest peak. You know, the quality we're seeing with the top four guys up there, Nadal, Federer, Djokovic, Murray. I don't know if we've ever seen a time in tennis where, you know, four guys have been this dominant, winning this many slams, and just really overwhelming the rest of the field. So it's pretty impressive to watch.
I pose this question to both of you. You first, Taylor. Does it hurt the sport to have just 4 or 5 people dominating their various divisions? It's a little more diversified in the women's division, but does it hurt the sport in terms of bringing in a new fan base?
In my opinion, no. You know, I mean, people love champions. You know, in Los Angeles, the most common, you know, jersey sold is Kobe Bryant's jersey. You know, people tune in to watch Serena Williams play. People tune in to watch Federer, Murray, Djokovic, and Nadal. So the more those guys are on TV, the more those guys are winning matches, the more people are going to be interested and excited to watch and participate in tennis.
You concur, Andrew?
Yeah, I do. And Taylor, but I would also add that, you know, the state of Americans men's tennis is kind of in a disarray right now. Aside from John Isner, there really isn't no other American, you know, that has been competitive over the last couple of years. And I think that if we get some more American tennis players to play at that level, I think it would add.
Why is that? Is it because at the lower levels, from whatever it is, elementary school, junior high school, that America does not have a strong enough tennis program overall to produce world-class athletes?
You know, Taylor, I think you probably can address that a little bit better given, you know, your stature and where you came from. But I also think that it's a tough game. It is. And there's finances involved, whether or not the kids have enough money to train on an everyday level to get them to that level.
I agree. I don't think we can pin it to one solid reason. I mean, court speeds in the juniors is a reason. The fact that, you know, the family dynamic in America is so strong. You won't get parents sending their kids away when they're 10, 11, 12 years old, where that's a little bit more common in some other cultures. And, you know, it's just there's so many factors in play that it's tough to pin it down to one thing.
Moving now to a more serious element of international sport, there have been allegations of steroid use in other sports, cycling, and more recently now we focus on the American sport of baseball and some of its superstars being accused of using performance-enhancing drugs. Taylor, do you think tennis is a clean game, or are officials just really looking the other way?
No, well, we are policed by WADA, you know, which polices the Olympics. So we are as tough on PEDs as any sport in professional and obviously Olympics, amateur sports is concerned. So are there guys that seem to find their way around? Maybe, but there's nothing more that can be done in regards to what WADA does. They are the premier drug testing, drug doping agency out there.
Taylor, we know some of the penalties for baseball players. If they get caught the first time, it's 50 games. If they get caught a second time, it's 100 games. And if they get caught a third time, they're banned for life. What are some of the penalties that some of the tennis players would face if they did taste positive?
Basically, those penalties in baseball is like if you're using like a grade 1 substance, yeah, you get the little slap on the wrist of 50 games. In tennis, if you get caught with a grade 1 in your system, you're gone for 2 years. And I think if it happens again, it's a lifetime ban. So the penalties in tennis are quite severe. I mean, I think it's as good a deterrent as we can get.
Well, getting back to the reason why millions of people come to these events, the players themselves and the matches, do you have any favorites to call for the U.S. Open this year, Taylor?
Well, look, it's easy to say the favorites are Djokovic, Murray, Nadal, or Federer. You know, kind of take your pick. Obviously, of those four, I mean, I feel Nadal is the guy to beat right now. God, he's playing really well. Outside of that, you're really taking a long shot. I mean, Berdych is playing well. Normally, I'd say Tsonga, but he's out. Isner is always scary. You know, in a heads-up match on a one-match basis, he could beat anybody. And on the women's side, it's tough to look past the top two, Williams and Azarenka. And Williams is probably in a Grand Slam. I know she's lost twice this year to Azarenka in regular tournaments, but never lost in a Grand Slam to Azarenka. So Williams probably the overwhelming favorite.
Taylor, just talk about the year that Andy Murray has had, going back to him winning a gold medal in the Olympics. He's the first British player to win Wimbledon in over 70 years, and then he follows that up, you know, coming into the tournament as the defending champion. I mean, he's on a roll at this point.
He is on a roll. There's no doubt about it. And you know, I guess it's funny how one match can be the difference between a positive and a negative. I mean, he's been so close to winning Slam finals before, and now that he's finally, you know, done it, it seems like, again, he was always considered one of those top four. In my opinion, is he the front runner, the favorite? I think it's a coin toss whenever you talk about those top four.
Well, I have my tickets for this coming week to see some of the newcomers, up-and-comers, along with those big names. Taylor Dent, thank you for joining us. You announcer for the United States Tennis Association and CBS Sports, and as well, always good to see you, Andrew Rosario, our Arise News Sports contributor.
Hey, Gary, how's your backhand?
Needs work.
Good talking to you, Taylor.
Thank you very much. Enjoy the tournament.